It does help if you plug in the microphone. So now you can hear. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Looking forward to this great show. Right now, we're going to be talking about the stigmata. And I want you to enjoy this, and I want you to ask questions. I believe I do have the chat room open, so if you have any questions, you can ask in the chat. I don't know what happened to my super cool lower third, but I was kind of liking that. Oh, let's turn it back on. Boop. I don't know why it went away. Huh. That's kind of crazy. Where's that lower third at? Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, red. Red. Where'd it go? Oh, well, it's gone. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the stigmata. And the stigmata is a very, very interesting thing to me. I think it should be very interesting to you as well. And it's really a bizarre thing. And it's something that I think is worth talking about. And I'm still trying to learn how to use this stuff. So bear with me, if you will. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the stigmata. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to do this live. It's just, it makes it easier, and it gives you a chance to also talk. So it's nice to do it live when I can figure it out, but I'm sorry about the little bit of mess we got going on. So, okay, let's talk about the stigmata. The stigmata is a term used by members of the Christian faith to describe body marks, sores, or sensations of pain in locations corresponding to the supposed crucifixion wounds of Christ. So again, you're talking about, hands, you're talking about forehead with the crown of thorns, you're talking about side for the spear, you're talking about, feet for the nails. That's generally what they're talking about, the 5 sacred wounds. And that's, obviously in church history, church art, and all that other kind of stuff. Now, there's some real problems with this. And of course, we're talking about the crucifixion. And you can see he was nailed in his hands. He had the crown of thorns. He was pierced in his side. And he had the feet thing as well going on, the nails in the feet, allegedly. Of course, the crucifixion of Christ never happened. It was a patsy that was crucified. And we've talked about that exhaustively on this program. But the stigmata is when a person bearing the wounds of the stigmata is said to have be manifesting these things. And I mean, this is kind of what it looks like. It's crazy. You get people, I don't know why she's bleeding from her eyes, but bleeding from hands, hands, this person, big old holes in her hands. And these are supposed to be legitimate, effects. I mean, here we go. Hands again. This brother's got something right there on his side. She's got the whole thing going on here. And you get, I mean, look at that. That's pretty gnarly, huh? And supposedly this stuff happens to these people. And then, of course, the question is, what the heck are they? I mean, even babies sometimes born with this stigmatic stuff. So, the question becomes, what in the world is this stuff? What in the world is going on? And there's some real problems with it, but let's talk more about it first before I get into the problems of it, because that's what we're here to do, is talk about stigmata. So let's talk about the particulars before we get into the problems with it. Now, supposedly the term arrives from Paul saying, "I bear in my marks the body of Jesus." I don't know if Paul really meant that he bears stigmata, but stigmata is the plural of the Greek, which means, mark, tattoo. And here's interesting. It is mark, tattoo, or brand, right? Used for identification of an animal or slave. So these people don't mind saying that they're animals or slaves. primarily Roman Catholic. St. Francis of Assisi was the first one reported to have been a stigmatic. And then there's stigmatics down through the history of, of the church. And interestingly enough, there's also non-Christian stigmata. Among the Wararo, which is you can see it's an indigenous people down in Venezuela and Guyana, in the Orinoco Delta. It's a beautiful picture of where it is down there. And these people have what they call tutelary spirits. It's a spirit, a guardian, a protector of particular geographic places. And they have openings in the palm of their hands. And these are presented by the Itariti snake, which is a close analog with the seraph that followed St. Francis of Assisi. A seraphim is I almost said demonic, but it may well be, but it's reptilian. So this reptilian thing would follow around St. Francis of Assisi, who would have all this stigmata, and there's correlations in non-Christian stigmatics of these folks down there in the Orinoco Delta, also followed around by snake-type beings. Now, that should really put things in perspective for you, and that should really give you an idea of, wow, this is kind of weird. Wow, this is kind of nutty. Wow, this is kind of, I don't know if I really want to talk about this or not. I don't know if I want to be a part of this, because it's really weird stuff. But it gets even more weird, because if you notice, these stigmatics, these people that are, having the stigmata, if you take a look at them and notice, palm of hand, right? Palm of hand, palm of hand, palm of hand, palm of hand, palm of hand. And people that want to tell me, oh, Jeff, it's a miraculous thing. Why are you trying to talk bad about something that's miraculous? Why are you trying to downplay something that is miraculous? Well, folks, I want to point out to you some things that, everything doesn't have to be miraculous. Things can just not make sense, even though you think they're miraculous, that they're really not miraculous. And here's some reasons why. I want to point out some actual reality to you, if that's all right. If you don't mind if we have a little reality up in here today. And I think I've got the chat turned on if you have any questions or want to make any statements. Let's take a look again at some facts that I find and I'm not going to be able to show them, doggone it, because I don't think it's going to let me show my actual desktop. Well, let's do this. Anatomy of hand. Okay, so I want to get some images of the anatomy of the hand here. Okay, look at this. This is a picture of the anatomy of the hand. What happens if I click on it? All right, we can get it a little bit bigger. If you notice the anatomy of the hand here, first of all, I find it interesting that the Bible says that none of Jesus's bones were broken. Bless God, it's a miracle. So tell me how you could drive a stake into a hand and not break any bones. Explain that to me, if you will. I'll wait, because obviously you can't. And obviously, if you here's the skin right here. Obviously, if you drive a stake into the palm of someone's hand, what's going to happen? When they get hung on that cross, it's going to rip right out. Rip, 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 rip. It's impossible to crucify somebody through the palm of their hand and hold them there, because it'll just rip out. I mean, if there's a spike right here and the weight of the crucifixion is on that person and it starts pulling down, it's just going to move their hand up and it's going to rip right out. However, drive a stake right here in the wrist and you've got a perfect little hinge right there to hold them. You see what I mean? You've got a perfect little hinge right there to hold the person. And if we look at, here's a better picture. Look at this. Come on, picture. Pretty, please. Sugar on top. Well, okay, look at this. Again, put a nail here, 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 here. First, you're going to break some bones. Second, it's going to rip out. Put a nail here, and look what you got. Boom. Very nice place to hold. And it's interesting. I had this conversation with Jimmy Caviezel, who played Jesus in the Passion of the Christ. And he said, yeah, I hear what you're saying, Jeff, but as a Catholic, I believe it was up here. I'm like, okay, Jimmy. But you can't put a stake in here without breaking people's hands, breaking bones. It says none of his bones were broken. Well, that meant none of his big bones. Oh, really? Because it says none of his bones were broken. And you can't hold anybody in a cross this way. But boy, if you put in a nail right there, boom, it'll work perfectly. So obviously my question with stigmata would be, if stigmata is a real phenomenon, why are they getting it in the wrong place? Because if it's real, if it's true, then you'd be getting stigmata not in somebody's palm. Because, I mean, look, nail my palm. What's going to happen? First, you're going to break these small bones on the back of my hand. Oh, Darty was saying he's crucified. He's making himself like Jesus. Well, there's a difference between me and Jesus. I'm real. He was fake. But put a nail through there. And what's going to happen? Hang me on a cross. And, you know, the weight of me being on that cross is going to start pulling up, and it's going to shoot out it goes. Nail me in the wrist, and you got a nice little hinge there. So if the stigmata is real, it wouldn't be here. It would be here. Why don't we ever see it here? Because it's not real. So what is it? It's a good question. Is it psychosomatic manifestation of religious delirium? Maybe. Is it demonic manifestation to make, and I'm looking at my vocabularies, to deceive people? Maybe. Is it possibly something where it's just a deception? It's a deceit. It's like the statues crying. It's like, you know, these appearances of Mary. It's deceit. It's deception. It's illusion. Even if the crucifixion had been real, if Jesus had been crucified, I believe a patsy was crucified, and let's say, okay, they're getting the stigmata of the patsy. Why are they getting it in the wrong place? Doesn't make any sense. If anybody has an answer for it, I'm all ears. But to say that stigmata is a genuine, legitimate phenomenon, to say that these poor people are having a real stigmata, why are they getting it in the wrong place? Because you can't crucify somebody up here without breaking bones and it ripping out, but you could do it right here, but nobody's getting their stigmata right there. Why are people that are stigmatics getting it in the palm of their hands? It just doesn't make any sense. St. Catherine, stigmatic. St. Francis of Assisi, stigmatic. Which is kind of, I mean, very, very interesting as you go through history. St. Padre Pio of Petrosina, stigmatic. And look where he is. He's a stigmatic. Boop. Come on. Well, that's as big as it gets. Where? In his palms. I'm telling you, folks, it doesn't make any sense for it to be in the palms. So it can't be real. It just can't be real. I mean, look at the anatomy of the hand. Look at the anatomy of the hand. Obviously, that's where you're going to put the nail. So stigmata has to be a deception. Stigmata has to be a fake. And really, how surprised are we? How surprised are we that stigmata is not real? How surprised are we that it is a delusion, and yet it is yet another blood-centered, deception and delusion perpetrated upon us by Roman Catholics and Roman Protestants. It's a lie, it's a deception, it is an illusion designed to draw attention and credibility to the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church when and if it happens within Protestant realms. It's not true, it's not real, and it is a deception. I don't see how you could draw any other conclusions. Stigmata, not real, because it doesn't come in the right places, and because it's another blood-based illusion trying to get you to say, oh, if these miracles happen, the church must be real. And remember that Christ said, there will be miracles that will happen, and in the end, it won't be anything that has to do with the true Christ. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, trying out these live broadcasts. I know they're not quite as well put together as the ones that we record, but they are very simple. They are very easy. They load up to YouTube right away very quickly. It allows you to do more content. So we're going to continue to play around with it. And at 6 o'clock tonight on the East Coast, we will have a great show with Cliff Desmond. I want you to tune in with that. And until then, we may even have another video or two coming up. I do have some personal service appointments to do today, past life regression. If you're interested in that, there's information in the box below once this does load up as a video. If you're interested, let's just do this real quickly. We'll go to one of these application windows that I'm in, and we'll put in jeffreydaugherty.com, and we'll take a quick look at that and show you what we're gonna how to get involved in that if you do want to have any work done. This is my website. Oh, what a nice t-shirt. Did you see that? All you have to do is go here to where it says scheduled times, click on it, and then the calendar comes up, and you'll see today, oh, let's see, 4 a.m. he's busy. If you click on it, it says 4 to 7 because that's actually when I'm sleeping. And 4 p.m., oh, he's busy from 4 to 5. That's an appointment. That's the past life regression that I'm talking about. And then, no, 6 p.m. he's busy. Oh, 6 to 8:30. Well, that's doing the show with Cliff Desmond. And then, oh, he's, 10 o'clock he's busy. Oh, 10 o'clock until Sunday at noon. Oh, that's again sleeping. So all you do is you look at this. Okay, he's busy at 4 p.m. from 4 till 5. So that means from 5 to 6 he's open. Or if he's busy from 6 to 8:30, from 8:30 to 10 he's open. So you just find a time that you want. And then you go ahead and send me an email. Just copy and paste that into your email and say, hey, Jeff, I want this time. I'll get it. I'll confirm with you. And you're all good to go. And, of course, we do have the new book, Assault on Aquarius. That's the Elvis and Paul McCartney book. We do have the new T-shirt as well. It does come in different colors, not just the gray that I preferred. So you're all set up for wanting and learning how to get work done through me, with me, if you want. And we're all squared up now on the stigmata. It can't be real because it doesn't come in the right places, and it's just another blood-based deception. Any questions, any comments? I'm always open to them. Like, share, subscribe, and please keep unwinding your mind. Keep unindoctrinating yourself. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. Until we see each other again later today, be excellent to each other.